Hey everybody, so I am back and I'm going to be reviewing the 4th episode of Fear the Walking Dead today. I just wanted to talk a little bit about it. I thought it was a really interesting episode. It really wasn't what I was expecting. I thought more was going to go down in terms of the actual walkers, but in this case we're actually learning more about the people in this episode. So let's get started. So from an actual clip that I watched on AMC's website regarding the time frame since episode 3, it has been 9 days since we have seen our characters, and it starts out with the episode, which is pretty interesting. They are acting almost as if they are living a normal life, even though they're fenced into their neighborhood with the National Guard. We have Travis running as if he's just running through the neighborhood. We have, Madison talking about how they're just going to be cleaning and cooking, and oh, when's the power going to come back on? I have all these things to do, and they're just trying to act like a normal family, right? So in this case, it doesn't seem like they're that affected. I know that they know what's going on in terms of the walkers. They've obviously seen, maybe even more than some of the people that are living in the neighborhood have seen, but I don't think that they understand the true magnitude of what has happened and what's going on. And so we see that the National Guard is basically taking over their neighborhood. They fenced it in, and they are basically controlling their life at this point, which you think would actually be a good thing, right? You would want to be fenced in. You would want the National Guard to be taking care of you, but it seems like Moyers, who's the head of the National Guard, he seems like a jerk. He basically just has some sort of power trip going on where he thinks he is going to save all of these people or something, and he isn't really doing much to help the people understand what's really going on. Some of the other interesting things that were going on in this episode is there was an actual doctor that came in, and they're checking all of the different patients. And so they are taking some of those patients away to a hospital. So we have the one guy who was on the morphine drip. We see that he is taken away. We have Griselda, who her foot is obviously hurt, so they're going to take her away as well. And then by the end of the episode, we actually see them take Nick away as well, because they know that he is a drug addict, and they're basically saying that they're going to take him to a hospital. But I don't know what actually is going to transpire with that, because as we see, there's really no hospitals that are going to be taking care of people from The Walking Dead that we know. So it becomes interesting in this fact, because I don't really know what the agenda is of the National Guard, of this doctor lady. I don't know, are they trying to experiment on people? What are they doing at this hospital? Are they trying to actually help them? But I think there's some bigger agenda going on. Another thing is that we know from watching The Walking Dead that people that are normal, that aren't bit or anything like that, whenever they die, they still come back as a walker. They don't just die only from getting bitten or scratched or whatever. So we know that those people that are almost dead, like the guy that had the feeding tube that was really sick, and people that are at risk of dying. So they were saying like the one dad who was kind of mentally unstable, Nick being, a possible threat, being a drug addict, and Griselda, who has a severe foot infection, they're at risk of possibly dying and coming back. And that would basically get rid of that safety net that they have inside the fence. So I think that's the reason, obviously, that they're taking people away. I mean, it's obvious that they want to remove the people that have the potential and health risks to come back as walkers. So, and they don't care about anything else. However, even if that's the fact, I don't know what their agenda is in terms of the people and keeping the people inside of the fence. As they're not letting like Daniel go with his wife. They're not letting Madison go with Nick. So they're not allowing that, and they're basically forcing them out, which is difficult to see, because we see how independent everybody is in The Walking Dead. They don't basically, as long as they're not being threatened, they do whatever they want. They're their own people. But at this point, we see the National Guard is taking over their lives, and they almost don't have their own say. And so that's very interesting to see. I'm not really sure what their agenda is going to be. Do you guys have any thoughts on what you think is going to happen with that? Next thing I want to talk about is Madison leaving the fenced-in area. So she goes out. She wants to see what's going on. She sees that they have that flickering light that Chris had seen, and she wants to go, I think, investigate what that is, or at least go out and look around and see what's actually going on in the world out beyond their little bubble, right? So she goes out and she sees a bunch of dead bodies. A lot of them were walkers. Other ones, and she was seeing, were people that did not turn. They were just normal people who were basically shot in the head or killed. So the question is, who is doing that? She hides behind or underneath one of the vehicles on the one street, and we see these guys who are not dressed as National Guard. They're just dressed in a bunch of gear. They have guns. They also have a tank. They're just walking down the street regularly. So in my opinion, obviously that's civilians that have armed themselves and are basically going to take care of themselves. Now, I don't know what their angle is. Is it anybody that they see they just kill? Is it that they're looking for people to come with them? I have no idea what their angle is. They seem like they're a threat. Madison was hiding from them. And the fact that she saw bodies that were not turned, that were also killed, you know, does that mean that it's them, the outside people, you know, killing the regular people, or was it National Guard had killed them? I don't know. It's really hard to understand what's going on, but she definitely hid from them. So we don't know where their place stands in this show at all yet. We still don't know who is having their little light flicker in the house up on the hill. And so I don't really know. Do you have any ideas? What do you think the National Guard is actually up to? What the agenda is? I don't know. It was an interesting episode because we didn't see one walker at all the whole episode. We saw like dead ones, but you know, nothing really as a threat. I really thought something was going to happen, maybe with that guy with the morphine drip dying and coming back, but you know, nothing happened. I think hopefully the next episode we'll get a little bit more and we'll actually be seeing what's going on with this hospital and see where they're taking Nick and Griselda and everybody, and you know, what's going on with that. I have a bad feeling it's not going to be good, and hopefully Madison and Travis and the whole family will be getting out of the bubble here possibly by the end of the episode and kind of moving on to their own thing, because they can't last in that little bubble forever, right? They're gonna have to get out. Okay, so let me know in the comments below what you thought of the episode. And I think there's 2 more left for this season, and then we'll be going right into The Walking Dead in October. So that's going to be exciting. They've had a lot of little commercials. I really like the one commercial where they had like the shadows where it changes from character to character. I think it's going to be interesting with that, but I'm definitely excited to see what the rest of this season has to offer. And please click the like button if you enjoyed this video and you want to see my next review. And don't forget to subscribe as well. And I will see you guys next week.